Good afternoon, everyone. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Peter Clinker, Head of Property Facilities Management for Nestlé in UK and Ireland. Delighted to be here for two reasons. First, to talk about pets, but also to hear that coffee is really good for you as well. So the guys and girls in Nescafé are going to be delighted with that message when I take it back tomorrow. So that's good news. Can I introduce Marta, Head of Communications for Purina, together with Sarah, who does all the hard work with communications, and Shrimp and Brooke. And I think one of the two is we're going to share with the audience as well. So if someone would like to, I think we have a volunteer as well to care for a dog in the workplace. So here we go. So we like to share our commodities, as you can imagine. So you might be aware Purina is part of the Nestlé family of products, one of our most successful brands with products like Go-Cat, Felix Bakers, Purina Gourmet. There are many more, I think, Marta. Shortly after our move to our new headquarters in Gatwick about 3 years ago, these two lovely ladies came to me with a proposition. Peter, how would you like to improve our employee value proposition, our marketing, our communications, wellness in the workplace? Clearly these are all ambitions that we would all like to achieve for our workplace, etc. And they said it's simple, let's introduce dogs into the workplace. So having worked with Marta and Sarah for the past 3 years, we've found this to be a compelling initiative. It supports all of those aspirations, and Marta and Sarah will guide you through the success that we've had to date. So in terms of our agenda this afternoon, we'd like to tell you a little bit about how it all started, how we became a dog-friendly office, how does it feel, some testimonials from Sarah, who's guided many of the team through that journey. And then we're quite happy to take questions. I'm delighted to see so many people in this workshop as well. So that's another sense of success as well. So I'll hand you over to Marta now. So.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you everybody for coming along. It's a pleasure to be here today with you to tell our story. It's a successful story. So now we've got, you'll see it later, 61 dogs with us. Not every day, thank God, otherwise it would be a nightmare. But we've got 61 dogs allowed to come into the office whenever they want, which I think is absolutely amazing. So this is a journey we've started with Peter, as he mentioned, a little while ago, 3 years ago. But before that, this is a journey our company started in a very informal way back in New Malden in 2003. So one day, one of our employees came and said, asked our corporate comms director, if our MD can have the dog here, why can I not bring my dog into the office? And then she said, well, why not? I don't see the reason, so it should be open to anyone, and that's how it started. But it started in a really, really informal way, in a place where it was only Purina and another company, but we were in a dedicated floor. And then when we moved, so we didn't have a policy, it was only a practice. Then when we moved to Croydon, where we joined all the other Nestlé businesses, things started to be a bit more structured. Because as you can imagine, we had a 21 or 22 story kind of building, and we needed that structure. So we created the policy, but we were still in 4 dedicated floors. So our colleagues from the other businesses, they wouldn't notice most days we had our dogs in the office. So it all felt safe. They didn't realize the dogs were there. They never heard them barking, for example, but they were there. The biggest challenge came when we moved into City Place, where we all, 1,000 of us, operate in an open plan new office. So then it all became obvious, visible. We had people coming down to see us. Well, not us, they came down to see our dogs and give them a cuddle, actually. And then it became extremely visible. And we could see the appetite, and that was the main highlight. So luckily, we had a policy. Luckily, we knew what we were doing, but it could have been a bit challenging. It wasn't, by the way. So, as I said, it was the new office, the new facilities, which people really looks really well after, that offer this great visibility and this great opportunity to then offer the other Nestle colleagues, because Purina is only one business, to offer the other colleagues the opportunity to bring their dogs into the office.
Today's event was a fun, interactive way to celebrate our passion for pets, but also to raise much needed funds for our charity of the year.
It really brings to life for me what the business is about and allows us to spend more time with our pets, which is great.
It was really good fun.
My role was to talk to people who don't normally get a chance to bring their dogs in, and to just give them a bit of guidance regarding how to help their dogs settle in on the day and what sort of things they need to bring with them in order to make their dog as happy and comfortable as possible.
We made sure that they were aware of health and safety issues and ensuring that everything was prepared and ready for their dogs.
My expectations for today are for people to have fun, enjoy themselves, and at the end of the day, it's a charitable thing to make some money for a very worthy charity.
Dogs are definitely helping cats today at the dog show, with the funds raised from the entry fee going towards cats protection and the partnership between Purina and the charity of the year.
I love talking about nutrition. It's what I do every day, and this was a great opportunity to talk to some of our colleagues and give them some information that may help them make better informed choices for feeding their own pets.
It was just fantastic to be able to talk to the vet directly and to actually listen to some of the other questions that I might not have thought of asking.
The group was very keen, lots of questions, and of course people a little bit shy initially, but then they wanted to ask about their own dog.
I loved the talks. It was exceptionally interesting. People were very engaged, didn't get too scientific, but also did still give you some of that science background.
It feels really fantastic to be here today, to really show off what our dogs can do to help people and really transform their lives.
Nestlé Purina setting this example, providing a pet-friendly environment in their workplace.
The office is a much more relaxed, happy place when the dogs are in.
I love having dogs in the office. I sit on the second floor, and whenever I hear a new bark, I always peek down and have a look to see who's new.
I sit at my desk and I hear the dogs sometimes, and I get very jealous because I am a dog lover. Just look at him makes you feel a little bit happier.
It's quite a safe environment for the pets to be in, and it's also a safe environment to, for people to interact with the pets as well.
I think it really helps productivity.
It's really good because you meet other people that you probably don't necessarily always talk to or work with.
It's contributing to it being a really great place to work.
It's created a really nice feeling, so I think it's a great idea.
It does make your working day much more enjoyable.
It's easy on my lifestyle. He gets up in the morning with me, comes to work, I know he's happy.
It's one of those intangible differences that you couldn't measure.
Oh, the people are loving it. You can see it all over their faces. And if you're a good observer of dog behaviour, you can see that they're very content, yeah.
It's been amazing. Loved it. Really great.
I thought it was fantastic, really good.
Best idea ever.
Yeah, that was really good fun.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It was fantastic.
I think it's a great opportunity for us in Purina to show everybody our passion about dogs.
We lived our values, and bringing our dogs in to be part of what we do, I think is really important.
Nestlé Purina Dog Month has been an incredible success. Those that took part were incredibly positive about the experience and hopefully doing more of it in the future.
I would definitely recommend they do this more often.
Can't wait till the next one.
And the next one was everyday experience. So for 1 month, we offered all our colleagues at City Place this experience of having dogs in the office taken from completely different perspectives. So we had our charities joining us, we had fundraising, we had a fun dog show, and then in the end, we wanted to offer them this ongoing experience, which we did, but in fact, based on their feedback. So the event was a great success indeed, not only in terms of number of participants, so we had interesting number of dogs, 24. We had dog-friendly buddies who kind of helped the participants go through this experience and tell them how the policy would look like. But then most importantly, we had the feedback from everybody, even those who didn't come along to the event, to say, actually, this could be a great experience for me as well as an employee, because it would have a positive impact in terms of how I feel at work. So then, obviously, if you get 83.3% of employees saying, actually, I would be okay with it, I would be okay with an extension of this policy to everybody in the building, that means green light. We were not expecting the green light to come immediately, and it did. So as we share the results, we had Fiona Kendrick and the MCC, so the board of Nestle, saying, go ahead with it, but then make it right and quickly. And then we felt, well, Peter, we've got a problem. Let's make it work and let's discuss how. And it was kind of a big challenge because we knew up front, as you can see, there were some employees who reported some health concerns. And they were already there. So obviously we wanted the dogs to come, but we wanted to respect our colleagues as well. So we had 5 employees who reported an allergy on exposure to dogs, and 3 employees who reported a phobia. So we couldn't ignore them, and we should, and we did, have a really robust plan in place to accommodate them and make them feel safe in the workplace, and that was a key priority. So very quickly, we had to pull together a team, so let me just go back to the team, of experts. So we didn't recruit a project manager to pull together the plan. We didn't spend more money than we usually would to have our employees feeling safe at work. So we recruited from different sides of the business, different departments, people who were actually interested in making this happen. And this is actually the beauty of the scheme. So we've got the resources internally, so we've got our vets, we've got our vet nurses, we've got HR, we've got occupational health, we've got the different specialisms within the business, and we just worked with them. So we pulled together a cross-functional team who made it work. And then, in the end, the process was there. So we had employees... We had dog, employee wellness and well-being on top of our mind, obviously. But we thought the infrastructure would need some adjustment. For example, we didn't have any signage in the building to signpost where the dog-friendly and the dog-free areas would be, so we had to create that. We only had 1 dog garden, because we only had the Purina dogs in the building, so we had to create another one. And we don't own the building, so we are renting. So it was another challenge, obviously, but we managed to deal with it. So now we've got 2 dog gardens, for example. Then in terms of processes, as I said, we are working, and we've always been working with the existing resources, but then, well, we are not a team. We are a team, but we are not a team. We're reporting to different people. We had to find the right ways of working to make it happen and be effective. And then the policy, many people, and this is the main question we get from the companies who get in touch with us, asking how we do it. They ask us, well, what in terms of insurance? Are you responsible? Are you paying for that? We are not. So it's owner's responsibility, because we perceive this policy as a privilege. So if I've got the right to bring my dog into the office, I need to have everything in place to make it safe, not only for me, my dog, and my colleagues. And then obviously Nestle will have on top of that the corporate insurance, which will cover facilities-related incidents, for example. But I'm responsible for my dog, and that's critical, that's fundamental. Finally, concerns. And I mention them finally probably is not the best way to put it, because they were always top of mind. And we worked with the British Society of Allergy and Clinical Immunology to review our roadmap and confirm in the end it was safe. It was safe for those who reported an allergy. And it was, and it is. And we can confirm now, if one of you has got a severe allergy to dogs, and if you go into City Place now, you will not have a reaction. Because it is all properly signposted, and you can walk around the dog-free areas, and you will not be exposed to an allergen. And that's critical. And I need to say, Peter's team has done an amazing work, because the critical element is cleaning. And I suppose I imagine we've got many people here who've got that responsibility. That's fundamental. So we've got all our dogs in good condition, like Shrimp and Brooke, but then cleaning is absolutely critical. And in 18 months, we never had a reaction, which is absolutely great. Then we needed to communicate. We needed to create some employee engagement. And we thought, well, if colleagues were coming down to see our dogs, not to see us, the better thing we would be doing would be to actually give them the dogs. So if they need any support on the policy or the scheme, the dogs are the ambassadors. And then we launched Canine Consultants. Obviously, this was only a nice way of introducing them to all the key communications channels available, the email, the chatter, all the website, all the internal comms channels for them to get in touch with us and ask any questions, suggest anything. I can tell you that the process we've got in place is always moving, always evolving, because we managed to keep this relationship with them. The communications channels are always open, and they get in touch with us with new suggestions or even with new concerns. The process in terms of dogs applications is bespoke. And well, we've got an example there. The journey is kind of shown there with our infographic. We admit it is challenging. But again, the principle is it lies on dog owners' responsibility. So they must be aware that their dog must be well socialized, not only clean, that's not enough, well socialized and fit for purpose. A very active dog who really needs lots of activity every day is not an office dog. So not all the dogs will be fit for purpose. That's another key highlight. And I need to tell you, coming from a comms background, this is not a nice message to convey when you need to talk to a dog owner who is really keen to have the dog into the office, but the dog just goes bonkers whenever. So yeah, challenges. So yeah, we had to create a bespoke process, and we did, inspired by the Kennel Club Good Citizenship Awards. And then we've been working with a partner, so we've been working with Co-op. Co-op is the Center of Applied Pet Ethology, to design this process. If you ask me, and I hope you do, would you recommend the same process for us? Probably not. It depends on the size of your companies, it depends on your needs. But for us, we needed this. And this process, for example, it requires one off-site assessment, one in the office assessment. They need a buddy. We need to make sure that any dog with a passport and a dog-friendly badge, we need to make sure they will be safe and they will not make our employees feel unsafe anytime. That's why the process is apparently a bit complex. But then once they go through it, they are ready. And when they're ready, we have fun, and they have fun. So as I said, we've got 61 dogs already with us in the office. Not every day, as I said. And City Place is now proudly dog-friendly. And that's something we make our visitors aware. This is something we make our partners aware, our suppliers, because we are really, really proud of what we've achieved with this and all the outcomes of that. So something I would add has to do with respect. We are proud, we are indeed, but we feel we've done it all in a really responsible way. And if you come to City Place, and I hope you do one day, you will see that all the areas are clearly signposted. So we really want to make it a safe environment for everybody. And you've seen the pet etiquette probably. So these are all elements of the process that I would encourage you to think about if one day you think about having a dog-friendly office. But then this is the hard work. What's great is the atmosphere, is how you feel about it, is how our visitors report anytime they come to City Place and what they say they feel when they see the dogs simply chilling out with Sarah or with one of us. And that's the great outcome. And then let's hear it from them. Yeah, Sarah and Brooke, let's listen from you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, it's been lovely to meet so many of you today already, and I know the girls are enjoying. Shrimp is a little bit of work in progress at the moment. She's just going through the assessment. Brooke has already been through it and received her passport, so she's very much more relaxed. Shrimp does get quite excited when she meets lots of people. But I just wanted to give a little background. She's going to join in now. I've been with Purina for about 8 years now, and I joined when we were still in New Malden in one office, and it was very much, you have dogs, why don't you bring one of them into the office? And it was like, wow, okay, I will. And back in those days, yeah, it was a lot looser, and we've grown over time into this great, robust scheme that we have today. But it's been such an interesting progress that I've seen as an employee, and I've also worked as a champion, as Marta said, to work with the team to get to where we are. And I've also been a buddy, so I've been able to help new people, new dogs, embrace the scheme, learn how it works, and get them embedded. As part of the team and as an employee going through the process, it's been so streamlined. Sorry, that it works really well, and we have so many people in place to help guide you through every step of the way. Shrimp, come here. I just wonder whether I should have Brooke up here so that they sit still. Or can you just hold it for me? Is that all right? Yeah, I think it is. Bless them. So as one of the facilities champions, I was involved in setting up our new dog gardens. So the company invested a lot of time and money into creating the dog gardens for us. So we never have to worry when we bring the dogs in. We can take them out first thing, we can take them out throughout the day, and that really supports in getting everyone up. You move around, you go and meet people, you meet the other people with the dogs, you meet the people out there having a cigarette break, so you get some fresh air, or not so fresh air, but it really just breaks down barriers, and I think that's it. Coming here today, I've met so many of you that I probably wouldn't have actually spoken to, because you come up, you meet the dogs. Not everyone's a dog lover, but generally people, even if they're not, they like to know that they could bring a dog in if they wanted to, and I think that's at the heart of what we do. It's just seeing the enjoyment that they bring to the office. You might not want to take part in the scheme, but you can, and it's all about engagement and respecting other people, as Marta said. So I think we've alleviated fears. So some of the people that highlighted issues when we began sort of spoke about not too sure about dogs, but it's working with people to make them understand. And in our environment, we've got 3 floors, glass office, totally open plan, and people poke their heads over, like the lady said in the video, to just see, oh, what dogs are in today, and we have a wall of fame with all the pictures on, and you see people walking past going, oh look, so-and-so's in today, and they'll go up to the 3rd floor to see the dog and see the people, and it's just great for creating that sense of networking, and it really does, from an employee perspective, I wouldn't ever want to work anywhere else because of the great feeling of engagement that I get from it. It really does, you know, and people accept, you know, Peter's our head of facilities, he comes round to see the dogs. Fiona Kendrick, if she's walking into the building, she's our CEO, and she will stop and say hello. So from that connection, I don't think you can underestimate that feeling that they bring to the office. And that's from an employee perspective, that's really what I see. So we're here for the afternoon to have a chat about it.